like an alien, I guess. Constantly misunderstood, although it's given me talents that I wouldn't normally have. I was talking to someone and he was saying it's a gift, it's not a bad thing, but then he's not the one living it. I don't know, it's like living in a world that just doesn't understand you. You know, and I'm a nice person, or at least I think I am. I can get nasty and stuff like that, but I just want to be understood, and people just don't get it, and I don't understand why. They just miscomprehend what I'm saying and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and that just causes trouble, and it doesn't seem, no matter where I go or what I do, that's the way it is.
Asperger's syndrome is part of the whole spectrum of autism. It's sometimes called high-functioning autism as well. Some people discriminate between Asperger's and high-functioning autism, and other people don't. But usually what it is that there are significant social difficulties with people with Asperger's syndrome. They have usually average to high intelligence, and some of them can be quite brilliant, but they always have some language difficulties. Even though they appear to develop speech normally, they can quite often use language in a different way. They're not as tuned in to the social world or the social use of language. They're often fascinated by language, but they don't always see its social uses.
It's just I found a lot of different things were going on, and I couldn't work out what they were or why it was happening. I believe it's something I've had all my life. At school, like, we'll say when I was at high school, if you had to read out loud in class, I'd be like, you know, don't pick me, don't pick me, don't pick me, don't, because you just don't want that attention.
Also, they have social skills difficulties, and they can also have the obsessions and the obsession with rules and routines that people on the autism spectrum have.
At school, I'd get nicknames and things like that, like relating to cartoons, because a lot of the guys were cartoonists I was hanging around with. You get like Dum Dum, which was a cartoon character, and you know, they'd call me like Sloth and all these sort of different things, because just a little bit slower than everybody else. Also really gullible, like believe everything you're told. I was good at art. They say that everybody that has Asperger's has one gift, and that's sort of their passion, and that's where they can make the most of it. I'd be in a lot of trouble if I couldn't draw. I wouldn't have been able to make a living. Basically probably be on the streets. I built the business up myself. I learned how to use the programs myself, learned how to promote myself, and I think that's part of where the sort of, I didn't have to get shown what to do. I sort of knew what to do and how to do it and promote it, and it just came, it was just a natural thing. It's also sort of dealing with clients. You have to sort of be part mind reader as well as cartoonist as well. You know, you get basic information and you have to turn it into something that's sort of brilliant for them to be able to use to promote their business, and I don't think that's a common thing.
It's not a surprise to me for somebody who's on the Asperger's syndrome. It could be very typical because the fact that he can draw the faces the same and that the faces stay the same.
I put the eyes in later on the computer. These are ones I haven't added yet. Just playing around with different styles. And that's like what I was coming up with how to make more characters out of just the one. So I draw like the main character without the arms. I could add the arms and things like that later on. So rather than have to redraw the character all over again, I can just, like, if he wants to, if I want to add, that's all I really need to draw to be able to change the position, or, you know, I can move his legs so he could be sort of running or dancing or whatever, you know. So that's the way I'm doing a lot of my artwork now. You can see the feet and the arms are separate, so it makes it a lot less time consuming.
It's very comfortable in that medium, in the sense that he's controlling the expression and the social expression, and also the fact that he would have an odd quirky sense of humour would mean that he could nearly be ideal for a cartoonist.
I find that most people with what I have fairly eccentric.
Do you think you're eccentric?
Yes, I think I'm eccentric, don't you? You know, there's a lot of people famous people that had Asperger's. I don't. There's a list on the internet, and it's like Albert Einstein and a lot of the artists, a lot of scientists, a lot of presidents, actors. They all have Asperger's, or, you know, they go back and they can trace that was what they had. And being in the same group of Albert Einstein, that's not too bad.
It's up to them to actually want to deal with their social skills difficulties, and a lot of them, if they don't deal with their social skills difficulties, will withdraw or develop ways of coping that may not be all that positive. Perhaps like dealing with their anxieties, and a lot of adults and adolescents with Asperger's suffer from anxiety and depression and poor self-esteem, and so I think they really need they're the areas that really need to be dealt with, because some of them are actually very, very able people, and if they can find a field where they feel very comfortable, they can do very well in terms of work and study, but it's the social skills and the other things that they really need help with.
I just drew him because I like Vikings. And I started on him and finished up. So he'd have like that's more like a sort of Celtic warrior, I guess. I don't know what else there is in here.
To realise that, again, they're not unusual, they're not eccentric, they're not odd, they're on the autism spectrum, and that can have its pluses and its minuses.
I didn't learn to tell the time until I was like 10. Somebody found out that I didn't know and decided that they'd teach me, and I still can't tell left from right unless I got a ring on. You get your mind set on something and you'll just keep on going on and on about it, and that's the same with conversations, and that's why a lot of people get pissed off with you, because you just keep on the one track until something happens or somebody goes off at you and says like, enough. You'll just keep on, like, there's something you want to do, you just don't give up on it. It's just like, can we go now, can we go now, can we go now, you know, I want to do this, and you set your mind to it. And it's also difficult because it's like people don't understand, because it's not a visible illness. It's like my ex-wife said if I had have like lost an arm or a leg, she would have understood it, she would have been able to cope with it, but because it was something that she couldn't see, she couldn't understand it. And at that time I had my two kids who were fairly small, so you've got like 8 and a 10-year-old, you go out shopping and you have a panic attack, you know, what are you going to do? You know, so kind of like spent most of my time, they'd finish up going out and I'd just stay at home, so not much of a life. So I like to have emails because I can go back and relate to what people have said and double check. Just going to work through it, it's just going to take time. But any step forward is a good one. I don't know, it's just been a really hard road.